Hey guys, welcome to day 4 of the Self-Love Challenge. I am still getting my computer plugged in, and I know probably a couple of you were waiting, so I wanted to pop on while I get my computer plugged in and allow you guys to pop on and say hello. Oh, this week has been great. I'm looking forward to hearing of some of your breakthroughs. Hey, Alexis, welcome. As you guys pop on, if you're part of the challenge, or even if you're not, or even if you're wondering what this challenge is all about, make sure that you comment in the comments because I am giving away daily prizes. And that is how I can keep track of who's actually on live because you have to be on live to be eligible for those daily prizes. And then at the end of the week, Friday/Saturday, I will be giving away grand prizes. So you've got to complete all of the prompts every single day of the challenge. And I am giving away free entry into the Self-Love Perfectionist Project, which our first call is going to be on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Self-Love Perfectionist Project is for recovering perfectionists, learning about self-care and starting to implement that over the next 6 weeks. And we're going to talk about self-care today. Hey, Tara, good to see you on. So, and then I'm going to be giving away one-on-one coaching, and then I'm also going to be giving away free ticket to my retreat that's happening in April. It's a 3-day retreat here in Fayetteville. So if you're not local, and you win that, you can always gift it to somebody, or you could always fly in, right? It's a $555 value. It's more like $1,000 value, but we stay at an Airbnb and we do a 3-day retreat called Create, Believe, Conquer that will change your life. So let's jump into it. Let's review a little bit. Hey, Lisa, good to see you on. Yes, good. She's driving, no typing and driving. Thank you for checking in though. Let's kind of reflect on what's been going on this week. I had a couple breakthroughs today, so I'll start by sharing those. But if you have any breakthroughs from yesterday's challenge or even something from the loop list on Monday, go ahead and share those in the comments. It's always fun to see where you're at and what awareness you've learned this week. So I closed a loop. I actually took our carpet cleaner, which was boxed up, and I took it to FedEx and shipped it off today. So that was one of my big loop lists. It felt good to get that out of here. It had been sitting here for like 6 months. Tara says, Universe says, I'll be seeing you for that 3-day retreat. Okay, Tara. I like it. She's putting it out there. She's like, okay, I'm coming to the East Coast. I feel you. What else? Oh, today I also did something outside my comfort zone and challenge myself to go bigger, because that's part of what my coach Jen Scalia is always talking about is visibility. How can you make more connections? How can you go bigger? Get out there. And I actually went to a local government contracting meeting. So what that means is all the cities and municipalities and everything, they come together and it's kind of like an expo, and you show up and you pitch your services to them. So I went around and I pitched my services to a couple of the different counties. And I also connected to a local entrepreneur, and just beautiful, divine timing, right? I was running late. I showed up late. I mean, it was from 2 to 6 and I showed up like halfway through. It's not like you needed to be on time for it, but I wasn't like one of those people who was on time. Anyway, divine timing, perfect timing, ran into a local business owner that I know. And she's like, oh my gosh, we do wellness services for these businesses and we need a coach. And so I'm going to set that appointment up for next week. But let me talk to you about this. Before I went to this government contracting meeting, I was resisting and procrastinating so much. Like I did intend to be there at 2 when it started. And then I realized I'm like, shoot, I have to do my capability statement before I go. And I didn't start that until like 1:15. So I was like, well, clearly I'm not going to be there right when it opens. So, and I was struggling with that because while I was procrastinating, I was like, well, should I just do this instead? And then it was like I was wasting time just thinking about what I should be doing and not doing anything. I wonder how many of you guys relate to that. So finally, I ended up doing it. I just grabbed my rhodonite. I meditated really amazing meditation with this today. So I ended up finishing it. It was a great experience. It wasn't even overwhelming at all. It was just my own resistance to potentially, I mean, what this really was potentially showing up to a local government and saying, yeah, this is $20,000 or this is going to be $50,000 for the year or $100,000. And my mindset, I was doing a meditation on money mindset this morning, And I was like, that resistance was about stepping into that identity of just handing the government a piece of paper and say, yeah, this is $100,000, right? So that was my breakthrough today. I thought that was pretty interesting. Any breakthroughs that you guys have had? Tara says the retreat is going to be phenomenal. Yes, the retreat is phenomenal. It's funny because I did the first retreat. So I went to my Bali retreat in July of 2018. And then I hosted my Create, Believe, Conquer retreat after that in October 2018. And when it was coming through, we had 2 hurricanes that like I had to push it back twice. And so it's just so interesting. I find that when we're about to do something big or about to make a shift, and I truly believe in like positive and negative energy, and like I truly believe that there are dark forces out there, not to scare anyone, but just to be aware that like when you're about to make a big impact on people and change people's lives, sometimes things come against you. So luckily we persisted. We were able to get a hotel instead of an Airbnb, and it was beautiful. And it was a really, really great experience. So, but yeah, we had 2 hurricanes come through because of that. And then also just to let you guys know, I do plan to have one of my former clients popping in at 7:30. We're going to see how that rolls. So I'm just going to text her right now, and she should be able to hop on here. There might be technical challenges. We'll see how that goes. Okay. And I also wanted to give you guys another resource because podcasts are my jam. Tara says, same thing happened to me today with my purge and commit and taking action after my conversation with my challenge buddy, Lisa. Yes, things will come against us. I call them breakdowns and breakthroughs. And, you know, and this doesn't have to be like, so I don't want you to create a limiting belief that it always is going to be this way, but I want you to just create awareness that it could be this way. When I came back from Bali from my retreat, I was like legit depressed because I had just had like the time of my life. And then I came back and I just like laid on the couch because it was like such a letdown to be back. And then my situation was shitty and there wasn't any money coming in. So I had like a 6-month regression after my huge breakthrough. Not to say that it's going to be that long for each of you guys, but expect for those things to happen. And that's okay, because through that breakdown comes the breakthrough. And just know there's 50-50, right? Positive and negative emotions. Allow yourself to feel them. I was just listening to a podcast this morning about buffering, and we just talked about this yesterday. What are we trying to avoid? Allow yourself to feel it. When you feel it, allow it to pass through. It's not going to feel as difficult versus when we try to resist the feeling, okay? So today, I want to give you a resource. I have not gone through this school, but I like this resource and I like teaching the model. I teach the model a lot of time in mindset because it's so, so useful. But there is a podcast out there called the Life Coach School, and it's Brooke Castillo who teaches it. It's Brooke Castillo's certification. And I like to listen to it because it really has like a lot of easy, valuable mindset techniques. So today, I was thinking about the topic to talk about today because there's so many things in self-love, right? So each day I'm like, you know, where do I take you next on this topic of self-love? And where can we go next in the short 5 days that we have together to create a change, right? To create a mindset shift. And her topic was, have you ever been called selfish? And I'm curious, for those of you who are live, and it looks like it's just Tara and Lisa right now, have you ever been called selfish? And you can type down in the comments here too if you have ever been called selfish and what your reaction was to that. I have, because I told you about my past relationship. He would flip things around on me all the time. He actually had his own self-interest at heart the entire time, and he would call me selfish all the time. Whenever truly I was the farthest thing from selfish, I basically forwent all of my needs in order to have his satisfied, right? But in thinking of myself now, Lisa says, love her podcast. Good. Lisa's already on them. Tara said, I love today's topic because it's perfectly aligned with a thought I literally just had after seeing someone's message that came through. They're wanting to consume my energy, and said that I should come visit because I appear to have so much free time, and that person couldn't be farther from the truth. Selfish or self-care? Totally self-care. Yes, this is good. Hey, Alyssa, I saw you hopped on. Yes, Alyssa says retreat is on my calendar. Beautiful. Good. Lisa says parking going in the house, so she will be safe and sound and she can type. Good. Yes, I've been called selfish indirectly. Hey, hi, can't stay on live the whole time, but I'll try. Okay, Alyssa, no worries. You got the replay here, so you can catch up on the replay. Beautiful that you made time to be here. And then I see Kayla just joined on too. Kayla, go ahead and comment just so I know you're watching the live. And then if you are taking part in the challenge, you will be eligible for the daily prize by being in the challenge and being on the daily prize. So today, if you've been called selfish, I think we may have all have. Here's my big takeaway, and this is what I learned from Bali. And this was what I was really healing when I went to Bali, was my past relationship and how I never talked about my feelings or my wants or desires because I wanted to be strong and I wanted to be like the person who just didn't have needs and everything was fine, like the cool girlfriend. And I was, right? I was cool until I let it boil up and I'd flip out like once a year, you know? And my coach over there, Emil Steenfeld, which I've told you guys about, he's an emotional intelligence coach, relationship coach. And he said, here's a way to look at it. Your values are important and so are mine, but I'm not going to allow your values to denigrate my values, or I'm not going to allow your values to override my values. And that was just a really good way to realize that it's important to have boundaries and values that are important to you, and to manage your own self-care before giving to others. And I'm going to get into this a little bit more because I think indirectly this is like a hard concept to grasp and understand. So we're going to really work through this as much as we need to today. Tara says that message I received came through literally 5 minutes before today's live session started. LOL. Oh, that's so great. Because you're like, I can't, I'm taking care of myself. I'm not coming over. I'm busy. Beautiful. Alyssa says strong is the only way. LOL. I know, Alyssa, we've talked about this before. I spent a good 30 years of my life like never crying and just being like, oh, people that cry, ugh. And then I went to Costa Rica, had a breakthrough, bawled like the entire time during our mission trip. There was these two little kids hugging me and I just bawled for like 5 minutes straight. And then when I went to Bali, again, we ended at the waterfall and I just released. I released 30 years of feeling like I couldn't cry, and I released it and I was like, it's okay. And it's okay to ask for help. And now my emotions are so accessible that I will cry all the time, like out of gratitude, out of just loving my dog or cat, or out of just like thinking about something that makes me happy, or like, I don't typically cry out of sadness anymore. Maybe on a movie or something, but I typically don't watch really sad movies, but I'm more so crying out of like awe. And a lot of times I'll cry when I am meditating, like tears will just roll from my eyes because I'm just so deep in meditation. So it's become more accessible, those emotions. And I think it's important to be able to process emotions. And this is kind of on another topic, but I just wanted to use that segue as well. Tara says self-love is key. Yes, pretty sure we're somehow separated at birth. Give me 2 peas in a pod. Yep, that's funny. Yep, there's a lot of women out there like us that want to make it seem like everything's fine on the outside. And that's why I called this program Self-Love Perfectionist Project, because perfectionists want everybody to think that everything's okay from the outside, right? Everything's fine, great, love it. Like I did that for 9 years in my relationship when it was not okay. But I wanted people to think it was okay and I was happy. Fake happy is what I call it, right? And it took them a while to break me down at the retreat too, because I was still being fake happy. Tara says we must have been triplets all separated at birth because I feel there's so many mirrors around me within this group. Yes, good. I love that. I love that we're all divinely connected at this place and time to learn from each other. And I truly believe that that's what souls do before they come here. They make a soul contract to learn and grow and go through experiences together, although they may be painful, in order to develop the things that we set out to develop here. So in terms of self-care and selfish, right? The 3 things that were coming up for me when I was thinking about teaching this was saying yes to yourself and investing in yourself. That's like one of the first things. The second thing is boundaries. And then the third thing is, what do you need to say no to? So I think I'm going to start with saying yes. Because once you understand saying yes, you're going to understand saying no. And then we can talk about how to communicate some of these things. So the challenge with being called selfish is that it paints us in a negative light when we're called that, right? I'm going to tell her 7:30. It paints us in a negative light that we're putting ourselves first, that we are being selfish, that we are disregarding other people's needs is really what it is. Where it's actually not, because, I mean, think of a nurse, for example. If a nurse is not, and this is actually pretty common, if a nurse is not taking care of herself and her own health and fitness, and she's smoking cigarettes and eating cheeseburgers, she's not going to have a very long life fulfilled, being energetic enough to take care of her patients. And it's funny that I bring that up because a lot of times those caretakers have that personality. If you have ever heard of the Color Code book, it's the blue personality. And the blue personality, that blue type, is a giver. They're motivated by intimacy. That means that they're motivated by connection. They want to just do because that's going to give them connection and serve, but they feel bad about allowing themselves to receive anything or be served. And I have Stephanie, who I worked with, who was in the same way. And these are high achievers, people who want everything done right. So oftentimes they'll do it for themselves. And we train people around us to expect that from us. So like, we're always going to clean up after people, or we're always going to go the extra mile and do the laundry, or make the lunches, or whatever. And I'm not saying that any of that is wrong until the point that you get where you're like overwhelmed because you're doing everything and you won't ask for help, or you won't set a new boundary, or you won't say, hey kids, like, here's the things, you can make your own sandwiches, I'll show you how, right? Or something like that. Tara Walsh said, what is the name of that book again? The Color Code. And Tara, you can go to thecolorcode.com and take the free test to find out what color you are. There are 4 different colors. And that would be helpful just to know your personality type and how it relates to others. And you can find out free videos on YouTube about those colors as well. And Tara, if you end up booking a call with me, we could go out a free call. We can go over that in there as well. So the second piece is, okay, so we talked about giving to yourself first, because that's going to allow you to give to others, right? But the second piece is actually investing in yourself and being okay with saying yes to yourself. And I bring this up because when I said yes to Bali, that changed my life. Absolutely. It was the biggest thing I had ever done in my life that was only for me. And it was $4,000. It was in a month. So when I applied in June, and we were going to Bali in July. And I was like, how the hell am I going to create $4,000? Right? How? I don't know. Now, the beautiful thing was the intention was set. Like, I was going. There was nothing that was going to stop me from going to Bali. So the intention was set, and I was able to manifest and create that money for Bali. But as soon as I said yes, I cried for like 20 minutes because I was literally, the thoughts I was having was like, oh my gosh, I'm literally about to step into my dream life. Like, I'm finally saying yes to me. Like, these are all the things I've ever wanted to do. Yes. Like, and I was ready to do whatever it took. So saying yes to yourself energetically, time investments, and monetary investments that are for your growth, that are for your highest good. Those 3 things are so important. And I want you to start actually thinking about your finances and actually thinking about your time, because those are the 2 things that most people will say they have the least amount of. But you got to think about it. Whatever is your priority is what you're going to invest in. So if your priority is healthy, clean, organic foods, you're going to pay more for that. If your priority is hunting and fishing and owning several guns, you're going to own several guns. That's how my dad is. If your priority is, we have these triathlon people that spend $2,000 on their road bike. Somehow they found $2,000 for a road bike that if I would have just went up and asked them, do you have extra $2,000? They'd probably say no. But because that was something that was important to them, they found the money or they found the time. Just like people who are committed to their fitness will find the time at 4:30 in the morning to create that self-care routine because that fitness is so important to them. So I hope that this actually hits home and like stings a little bit, because anytime we're doing a self-assessment, it is going to hold up a mirror to where we have been investing our time, our energy, our money. And just like Tara was saying, in terms of relationships, really looking at who is pouring into me, or am I just pouring into everyone else? And a lot of times when we start this self-development journey and we start to grow and change, we also have to start setting new boundaries and limitations with the old friend group that we used to hang out with. And sometimes that feels hard. It's going to feel a lot harder for them than it is for us, and they're going to play the guilt trip. But remember, they're getting so much from you that, of course, it's like you're taking out this valuable, sustenance for them because they've been feeding off of you. And now you're like, no, I really need to take care of me. So that might sound selfish again, but you can say, you know what, I'm really making a life change, and I would love for you to come along to this personal development workshop with me, or let's make a vision board. You can start inviting them. And then what happens is they start, you're at least extending the hand out, and then they see that like, oh, she doesn't want to go drink anymore, or she wants to do these other things I don't really want to do. So their choice is either hop on board with these things I want to do or not. And then the friendship will fade away. And I can tell you for a long time I did this, and I still do it. I just won't. My energy is so important to me, and it's so valuable. And I realize this sounds conceited, but this is where when we get to such a place of self-love, like I realize my presence and being around me is really valuable. Like it's high value and people want to be around me. I also realize when I am energetically drained and I need to recharge, I am the worst person to be around. So it's better for me and everyone if I just say, I need to stay in tonight, versus going out and trying to pretend, because it's two different people. I will tell you that it's two different people. If I'm on or if I'm turned off, you can tell. Tara, hey, okay, other Tara is on, and then Tara Walsh says, I just did a personality test. Yep, INFP, which I'll share in the group. Gonna have to play catch up after the slide session too. Yes, INFP, so she's an introvert, intuitive, feeling, and the last one, perceiving. That's interesting. I love the, if you guys have your personality test, that would be a good thing to share in the group. It's very interesting. I am an ENTJ, and you just start to learn how you relate to the world and what your strengths and weaknesses are. And again, starting to make it okay. Like our weaknesses are also okay, right? Like introverts have to recharge. I'm labeled as an extrovert, but I'm actually an ambivert, and it's really important that I get self-care and I am not around people. Like if I, like this week, doing a lot of these videos and doing a lot and doing a launch, I'm just gonna like chill during this weekend, because I also had a vision board workshop last weekend. So I'm so looking forward to just like vegging out Netflix and chill on probably Saturday or Sunday. That's exciting to me. Or hanging out with just like one person who doesn't drain my energy, right? Like maybe we go thrifting or something. That's fun and easy for me. Okay. Tara says, amen to that. Same. Yes. So energetically investing, but then you have to say no in order to energetically invest, right? If you want to say yes to you, you will have to say no to something else. So sometimes it's easier to start with, especially when people are they feel like they don't have time, is like, what do I need to say no to in this season? And just know it's just a season. Like maybe you are volunteering at your kid's school and now you can't. It's just not the right time. I was volunteering at a church and I'm like, I don't know if that's for me anymore. I felt like God was telling me like commit and do that, but it has, and I was like waiting for this to like shift and change and start to be enriching to me. It never became enriching to me. I was just doing it out of obedience, right? So what I may do instead is actually drive up to Raleigh, which is an hour and a half north of me, to my old church, and invest 3-4 hours there one weekend out of the month, and that's going to re-energize me more than, and I'm still serving and giving back, but that's going to energize me more than going to this local church. So that's just an example. And a lot of times, especially if it's volunteer work, people might take offense to it or might make you feel guilty for it. But just remember, we are of no good serving anybody, especially even in a volunteer capacity, if we are burnt out, right? We're just going to show up in a different energy. The other thing is, and I've been coaching a lot of women around this. This is very interesting. I had an hour-long call with my accountability partners this morning about this. So I want to address this too. When it comes to investing in yourself, especially when you're struggling with self-love and self-worth, women are often the worst at investing in themselves. And I say that to say, not a bag, not a purse, because yes, those can be investments and those can be things that you love and they'll really enrich you. But I'm talking about saying yes to something that's actually going to shift and change your life. Whether that is a weekend retreat, whether that is a master class, whether that's just signing up for Audible, which is like $15 a month. Something that might feel frivolous or something that might feel like, I don't really need to. You're right. We don't need to be doing any of this work. We don't need to. There's nobody telling us to. We want to. We have the opportunity to, and we are privileged to be able to do this work because we have all of our human needs met: food, shelter, clothing, not fear of death, right? We are in the top 1% on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We're at the top 1% of the pyramid, very top. We're seeking self-actualization, right? But there are things that we can invest in, and I say invest, I will just call it spend money on, that are habitual. They might be buffers, right? Avoiding, like we talked about yesterday. I was telling you the 1 month I spent $300 at Dollar Tree. And looking back, I could have spent $300 on a course on how to learn something in my business or a mindset strategy or something. And so I was using that because I didn't like my job and I wanted to spend money here and there, but I was still trying to save money. I was trying to be cheap. And that also is like, how do you treat yourself cheaply? You know, like how do you treat yourself with your self-care? And will you say yes if an opportunity comes up to you? Tara says completely, same. Lisa says totally the worst. Yes. Like this week-long commitment. Yep. Is self-growth. Exactly. And then back to what is important to us. Hey, Stephanie. Okay. So Stephanie is on. I'm going to see how I can invite her to hop onto here. Because Stephanie is my special guest and is perfect timing. Invite friends. I thought I could do it and I might not be able to do it on here. Because I was going to have Stephanie hop on and join and interview her a little bit. Let's see what happened. Ooh, something's coming up on my screen. Nope, those are just my emojis. Steph, we might not be able to, or we might only be able to do it from our phones. I feel like that was how I've done it before. So let me go on and actually see if I can go live from my phone and see if you guys can come live on there and chat with Stephanie. Day 4 continued. Okay. I think I'm going live twice at the same time. I'm going to see if I can get Stephanie on here. And then if not, I don't know. I'm just going to sit here for like another 90 seconds if I can figure this out. And if I can't, then we'll be okay. Hey girl, hey. Um, yeah, Steph, we might just pop on after my regular Facebook because this I don't know if this is gonna work. And I don't want to hold these ladies up that are watching this. Dang, technology sometimes confuses me. I know there's a way to do it, but I think we have to do it from our phones. So we'll just do it then. All right, Steph, you can hop off or you can stay on if you want till the end, and I'll just text you. All right, so what I was talking about was investment. And Stephanie, if you want to put anything in the comments about that, you can. The reason, guys, why I was going to bring Stephanie on is because number one, she's amazing. Number two, she's been working with me for like almost 2 years, like a year and a half. And her very first thing that she did was Self-Love Perfectionist Project. And I'm going to tell a story about her because I know she will share everything. But the first thing that she did to invest in herself was obviously say yes to the program. But her big struggle was she works really hard. She's in the Air Force. She works really, really hard. She gives to everybody. She does everything. She's like that one in the office that does everything because other people are just not so great. And part of it was learning how to delegate. Part of it was learning how to have challenging conversations. But the first thing she did was say, I just want to come home and sit. And she hired a house cleaner, but she was having so much resistance because she was feeling guilty. She had the money to hire the house cleaner. Like she was able to find the money. Like, again, that's one of those things where it's like, it's not a necessity that we have to have. However, for her self-care and her well-being and just her ability to continue to show up at a high level, she invested in that housekeeper. And then here's the other piece. She was going to be home when the housekeeper came. So she was like, I feel so challenged because the housekeeper's coming there and I don't want her to think I'm lazy. And I was, how about realizing you just empowered another woman to provide for her family, right? So it was another mind shift of like, that's what she does for a living and she needs the work. So she doesn't care if you're on the couch or if you're outside or if you're out shopping, like it doesn't matter, right? So she started investing in that. And then, I mean, she's gotten so extra to the point where I'm like, I love it. Gets her nails done, gets her hair done. She gets hair extensions put in. And I say this to say, obviously we're all in a different place financially, but what one thing can you do? What one thing can you invest in that you know is going to create a breakthrough for you? And maybe it's just a shifting from something that's not serving you or something that is currently a buffer. You know, maybe the Starbucks addiction is just a buffer. And maybe you could take that $5 a cup and put that into something that's actually going to enrich you, where you actually get to relax, where you actually get to do some personal development. Yes, so guilty. I didn't mean to call you extra, Steph, but I did because I'm so proud of you for being extra. Because that's really the point where I want people to get, is to where they're unapologetic, not to the point where you're an asshole to somebody else, but just to the point that like, yes, this is my self-care. And you're going to notice people's insecurities are going to come up when you set a boundary and you say, this is my self-care routine, right? And people are going to say, well, that's nice. You have time to meditate in the morning. Good for you. It's like, well, I get up at 5 a.m. because it's a priority for me and I get up and work out and meditate. That's important for me. And what's more important for me is in the evening to also meditate and reconnect or go on a walk. I could just be like everybody else and I could watch the news in the morning and I could watch 3 hours of Netflix at night. And I've done that at times, right? Like I've done that at times and I realize it doesn't make me feel good. So I don't do it anymore. And I'll go through seasons. Stephanie says, I've already told Terry the housekeeper is not negotiable. I love that. So Stephanie is moving in with her new man at the end of the year, I think. And they've been talking about this. And this is a lot of the work that we did together is communication and communicating what she desires. And again, it's not in any selfish way. It is, these are my values. This is what's important to me. And I'm communicating this to you. And that actually helps them know and understand you, and especially in relationship. So she's told Terry that the housekeeper is not negotiable. That's something that she's going to stick to, right? I think that's so great. So any takeaways from this one today? Has anybody figured out what you're going to say no to? Like, have you already figured out right away, like, this is what I'm going to say no to? because that's one of the first steps, is saying no, whether it's spending the extra money shopping, spending the extra money at the Starbucks, mindlessly scrolling Insta. We already talked about that. Maybe it is Netflix, but or maybe it's a commitment, volunteering. And I don't want to say no to volunteering because it has its value and it has its own way of giving back to ourselves, right? Like typically the purpose of volunteering is like, yes, we're serving others, but it's not supposed to be at the detriment to ourselves. And a lot of times that's what some of the volunteer leaders will perpetuate because they're not taking care of themselves, right? So at that point, it would be like, how can we enrich and invite other people to be volunteers? And, you know, I'm going to use church as an example. The church that I go up to Raleigh, we got there at 5:45 in the morning and we didn't leave until 2 p.m. And I volunteered there from April, like a year and a half until I moved, almost 2 years. And this local church here, I only go for an hour. I go from like 8:30 to 10:30. So I go for 2 hours and it's 5 minutes from my house. And because there's not an enrichment for the volunteers, I believe they probably have a hard time keeping the volunteers around. My Raleigh church invested so much in the spiritual growth of the volunteers, the community, the love, the friendships. And you know what I mean by real friendships? Because I've gone to churches where it's like fake all day long. So that is something that I learned. Stephanie says yes. She's saying no to entertaining gossip and drama. Just say no to it. Yep. Tara says saying no to anything that doesn't serve me in a growth perspective these days. I have to. Yes. And Tara, I'm even going to change this to I choose to. I have to because it's very much like there's no other option, but I choose to is also much more empowering because there may be sometimes when you're like, oh, I really want to do that, but I have to do this. So in those times where it may be a difficult choice, remember, this is your choice. I choose to, whatever it is, right? Lisa says, no signing up for free trials and not canceling. I have lost so much money this way. Oh, Lisa, they got you. Their marketing ploys have worked. That's great. That's really great. So you're going cold turkey off of the free trials. And then authenticity. Yes. Beautiful. I love it. All right, guys, this is going to be a short one today because my self-care demands it. Because I'll just be real with you. I'm flowing into my cycle pretty soon and I can feel it. My body is starting to get more tired. And so usually I need more self-care around this time, probably in the next couple of days or so. So I'm going to cut this one short. I am going to show you the prize. And then I'm going to show you what I bought for myself yesterday for my self-care. And then I'm going to have you start commenting. So this prize, let me see what this is. Trying to think what word to use for this. Ooh. Okay, this is good. So there's a couple different things in this bag, but one of these things is a charcoal mask. So I actually want you to think about this too, the word mask. So you're going to type in the comments. This is for the prize. So if you guys, this is your first time here on the challenge, you're eligible to win the prize if you've been completing all the days for the self-love challenge and you're on live. If you guys are watching the replay, make sure you hashtag replay so I know you're here. But I want you to start commenting mask. And I'm going to talk to you about what that means. Start commenting mask down below, and then I'm going to scroll through and randomly choose a winner. So this is a charcoal mask. All of this stuff was kind of like randomly curated from a lot of things that I had from local businesses. I don't have the last prize yet for tomorrow yet, but I will share with you what I've got here and who they're from. So this little set here, we got a charcoal mask. And then we have this cute little purple set with like an extra bracelet. It's like big and purple. It's just like out there. And then some purple earrings. This came from Bath Snob. This came from another local vendor. And then these match. So I was like, this is so perfect. Purple, again, is the chakra for spirituality and connectedness to source. So maybe you wear this when you're wanting to feel ultra spiritual and a little bit extra. This is the cutest little goat. It is goat milk soap. And this was made locally as well. by B&B Farms. It's just goat milk, canola oil, coconut oil, and lard. So animal fat, obviously. So this is going to be really enriching for your skin. And it has like such a cute goat on it. So you don't have to use it if you don't want. You can display it in your bathroom because it's a cute little goat. And I love it. And the last thing, I'm checking out all the new comments. Good. Everybody's got the mask on. Good, good, good. Good. And then this is just a cute little pouch you can use to store toiletries. I have a cute little, this is from Bath Snob. They make freaking stuff by hand. And this is so tight. I don't know. I'm not going to open it right now. But this, they make handmade body lotions and soaps and everything. Tomorrow they're sponsoring our prize and they're giving us a big basket. But I have a little sample from them today. This is called Punch Fizz. It kind of smells like candy, like it's hand lotion, and it kind of smells like candy. You guys can also buy everything online. So if you want to go online after you get this, you can go online and get that. And then lastly, this is actually the deodorant that I use. So I'm gifting this to you. This has not been used, but this is the kind that I use. Let me just be clear, not all the time. I use this like at bedtime or if I'm just around the house. It's lavender. It's beautiful. It's paraben-free, aluminum-free, so it's all natural. It's lavender and rose. It smells delicious. I use it around the house. I'm still using clinical stuff because I'm so sweaty. And I've tried to go all natural. It just doesn't. I just smell like BO. So just to give you a warning, if you're not already all natural, this may or may not work for you, but I use it on like my low-key days where I'm not trying to get super sweaty. So I love that. But I wanted to talk about, so those are the things that you'll get in this today's gift. And I'll scroll through in a second, but I want to think about the word mask too, because it goes around what we're talking about in terms of who have we been masking with? Who have we not been being real with? Who have we not been showing ourselves to, right? Because that's part of self-care as well. In work, showing up with, like, for example, with our church group, like if that's time to go. And again, I'm not recommending you quit your church or anything like that, but I know Lisa shared that same story where she ended up having to leave a situation that, from the outside looking in may have looked like it was something good and enriching, but only we really know what needs to stay and what needs to go, right? So I want you to think about that word mask and maybe have that reflected back to you in the things that you're saying yes to and in the things that you're saying no to, right? Okay. So I am going to, I see pretty much everybody. Yeah, you guys are really good with the comments. I'm going to go in and find my live. You're saying yes to it and the things that you're saying no to. And you guys can see me live here. So I am going to, right now, pretty much everybody. I need to click it. Really good with the comments. I'm going to go in. Right now, I literally can only see Tara's comments. And you guys can see me live here. That's so weird. I need to click it. I've given 2 presentations on masks, one with taking all my makeup off and one putting it on. Oh, that's cool. That's so weird. So I'm just telling you the reason why I'm taking a long time is because when I am scrolling and I want to see everybody's comments, it stops and it only lets me see a few. So technology is being so interesting today. And I know Lisa had a challenge around, she booked a call with me and she had a challenge around booking that today too. So maybe it's just the timing of the year or the moon or whatever. All right, so I'm just going to do it this way, which you guys are just going to have to trust me that I'm just randomly picking. Give me a second. There we go. Now it's scrolling the whole way up. It's like a little bit slow. All right. I am going to say, yeah, I'm going to say this. If you're not actually part of the challenge, like, and you're not completing it, can't win a daily prize. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, make sure you sign up for the challenge. And the way you sign up for the challenge is to go to CamiKennedy.com, self-love challenge, hop on the email list, get the emails. And then, because I know some people I'm not familiar, I'm not sure if they're just here now or they've been here all week. I know those of you guys who have been here engaging every single day, obviously, because you guys have been talking to me. But if you are new to the challenge and you haven't signed up on the email list, then you won't be eligible to win the prize today. Okay, just thought I'd say that. All right. Scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. Let's see if it'll work one more time on my phone because it's so much easier this way. All right. I get in a challenge and you haven't signed up on the email list, then you won't be eligible to win the prize today. Okay, just thought I'd say that. All right. Scrolling. All right, I'm going to do it live on here because now I can see it a little bit better, but it's still horrible. All right, scrolling up and down. Eyes are closed. Scrolling up and down. Da da dee 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 da 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 da. And here. Tara, you won again because you're freaking all over it, girl. Look. All right, Tara, you're all over it. Done and done. Tara won this one. Perfect, because I'm just going to bundle it with the one you won yesterday. And congratulations. Stephanie, thank you for, I know. So Stephanie, I want to fill you in because Stephanie is going to make sure that this is fair. I love you so much, Stephanie. But I want to explain it for anybody who's watching who hasn't been in the challenge. The way it works is I just randomly scroll and I put my finger on a person and it's just going to be random. So it doesn't mean whoever posted the most. It literally just means whatever my random finger lands on. And I knew I could only see Tara's at one point, and then I saw Lisa's and I saw Stephanie's too. So it's totally random, and today it's totally slow for some reason. So that is what we got. New comments. LOL. Lisa almost posted 2 in the same one, so I had to laugh at your 3 Lena one too. Yep. Perfect. All right, so Tara won today. We have one more daily prize tomorrow. So if you guys are watching the replay, hop on. Let me just say when we're going to be on tomorrow. I'm going to be on earlier tomorrow. I'm getting my hair touched up tomorrow too. So you see how the top is yellow? My hairdresser's super sweet. She's going to put a little more blonde in there because it's just too yellow. I want it to be more like white. We're going to do 4:30 tomorrow. So you can hop on live for the last one. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. It feels like it's gone so fast, but it also feels like we've spent so much time together already. So beautiful. And then Tara, I don't know if you sent me your address yet. If you didn't, make sure that you send it to me. All right, guys, thank you for being on. We're going to be on at 4:30 tomorrow. Steph, thank you for hopping on. We will figure out how we can get on video together. All right, guys, have a good night. Bye.